Hey guys, so today we're gonna learn how to make homemade pasta. And I have got 00 flour to use. You're gonna need salt, and you're gonna need olive oil, and then you're gonna need eggs that are room temperature. I'll post the video online, the recipe online, so you guys can join in and do it today. Boom. Okay, so this is 00 flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. The difference is this is very fine. The flour's real fine. It's not as thick, I guess is the word. This is more like, you ever put that powder on your face? It's kind of that kind of consistency. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna pour out 2.5 cups on your little pan, and yeah, it might make a little mess. And then you're gonna make a little well. If I go too fast, let me know. I know some people are doing it with me. Make a well. Here's my well, like a volcano. Okay, then you're gonna take 4 eggs, and you are gonna, and these are room temperature eggs. I've had them sitting out. They're still a little cold. And I'm gonna, huh?
Can you slow down a little bit?
Yes, sorry, I'll slow down just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'll put my eggs in while you're, all right. So 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, or whatever flour you have. Make a volcano. Can y'all see my volcano? Kind of.
Yeah, they
move the
can.
eggs. If I move the eggs,
I zoomed in a second ago.
Okay.
And this is to make what?
This is to make noodles, homemade, and we're gonna make spaghetti noodles today, and then later we'll make fettuccine noodles. And I have this little attachment here. So you can get these on Amazon for about, I think under 50 bucks. Do you remember, Miss Garcia, what it
No.
was? You can get it for under 50 bucks, and it's a hand crank. My son and his wife gave me an electric one, and I might use that later on. But for now, we'll do the hand crank. If you do not,
Did you say make a mound?
huh?
Did you say make a mound with
Yeah,
flour?
so what you're doing is you're making a hole in the middle.
Okay.
Can you see it? So I like moved my hands like this and made like a little hole in the middle. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put in the olive oil.
How much?
1 tablespoon of olive oil.
I'll be back. I'm not skipping.
Okay. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And then all of this goes in my little volcano in the middle. Boom, like that. Okay. Now I have this little scrapey thing that is awesome, but you don't need it. You just need to get your hands in there and move it around. Okay, so is anybody cooking with me besides Brianna? No? Okay. All right, that's fine. All right, now, oh, that egg looks funny. I'm gonna pop the yolks, and I'm gonna start mixing around. So you wanna put your hand right in the middle and start mixing it around, grabbing a little bit of flour as you go. And yeah, I probably do it too delicately, but see how I'm grabbing a little flour and pulling it to the middle? Grabbing flour, pulling it to the middle.
That's why you're going too fast. That's why it keeps coming out of the edge.
I'm going too fast.
Yeah. You're supposed to mix it in the middle a little bit until it forms a dough, and then you start pulling more.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful mess. You
It
can't.
is a
There's no
beautiful
wrong
mess.
way to do it.
Last time I made that ball right there, I got it all over the floor.
It's
Maybe
because
that's-
you went too fast.
I go fast.
Miss Bullard,
Yeah.
how much olive oil are we using?
1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna, everybody's still coming in. All right, so see, it is a big hot mess. And you're kind of like, what are you doing? But I'm sort of mixing it around, grabbing up the stuff as I go. And I'm still just using my hands. See, it is a big clumpy mess, right? It doesn't feel totally right yet. And it does stick all to your fingers, but it'll come off. Okay. So I didn't go too fast, Miss Garcia.
Yeah, I don't think there's a real wrong way to do it. You just
All right, I'm gonna scrape some of this into the middle, but you can do it with a knife or I guess a spatula or something.
Yeah.
If you want. All right, that's so I can get all the dough. And I'm gonna start squeezing it and pushing it with my hands. All right, Miss Garcia?
Yep, until all the flour's incorporated.
Yes, so you're gonna be doing this for about, I guess, 8 minutes.
Well, first you get it into the ball, right?
Yeah, once you get it into a ball, once you've gotten everything incorporated, then you start kneading it for 8 minutes. And it might look like this is never gonna work, but it will, I promise. Sometimes dough looks like, oh, it's never gonna work. It's never gonna stick together, but it will. Right now it's all over my hands. But, so Brianna, how are you doing? She's probably got it. You don't have to answer me because then you have to unmute. That's okay. I don't want you to have to do that. Stop your process. Don't stop your process. All right. So,
See, it's starting to come together now.
yes, starting to come together. I'm continuing to squeeze. There's Kyler. Hi, Kyler. And Tyler. All right. So, all right. Now I'm going to start rolling a little bit so that the dough kind of starts picking up the little pieces that are on there. And it's still very dry feeling. It starts to feel dry. How am I doing, Miss Garcia?
Looking good. Once you start scraping your hand and getting it into a ball. Everybody's different. Everybody's
It's fun.
different.
It's fun. I know. I was like, Miss Garcia should probably do this part. This is her favorite part.
Yeah, I like this part.
She likes. Do you want to trade?
Nope, you're doing perfectly fine.
All right.
Allowing me to comment. Sorry.
You can comment. Miss Garcia's filming it, so I don't have to do this 3 times today with every
Yep,
class.
starting to come together.
Look at that. Boom.
That's what you do.
I like messes as long as they get cleaned up. All right.
Just want to get the dough off your back of your fingers. Sorry, guys, it's bothering me. I'm like, get the dough.
Go off your
Off of the
Well,
meat.
if you're thinking it, they probably were thinking that too.
There you go. That,
How's that
makes me
better?
feel much better.
Better. All right.
Looks good.
All right. Somebody just left us.
Yeah, they'll maybe be back.
All right. I'm going to do that. Now, I still have a big hot mess. All right. And on that video, he did everything. His didn't look like this. So you can tell I'm not as experienced as that dude.
What? He wasn't as messy, you mean?
Oh, no. He was smooth.
Wow.
Well, maybe they cut the camera during
Yeah.
this hot. I just flung dough. Maybe I'm glad you aren't here today
No, this is perfect.
to make a hot mess. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's coming together. And so I'm going to keep squeezing it and pushing on it with my palms of my hands, right, Miss Garcia?
Yes, you
She's
palm
looking at me like there's
turn.
something I'm doing wrong.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You're doing it right. But kneading is when you start to push it with the palm of your hand.
Okay, yeah.
Down and out.
Down and out and down and out.
Yeah.
And you got to do this for like
You
8
keep
minutes.
turning it and turning it.
And your goal is to get all these loose pieces off your hands,
All
off
right.
the pan.
And so you knead it for how long, Miss Bullard?
8 minutes.
8 minutes, and then you wrap it in.
Okay, she's wanting me to cut.
Well, then we're going to stop the video because
All
then
right.
it's almost 10 minutes long here.
Okay, all right. So you just keep doing that for 10 minutes till it's off your hands and all out off the pan, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna wrap it in plastic wrap.
And
All right, so why don't we cut?
you
Cut.
Okay, so you want to say in wrap it in plastic wrap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have wrapped it up, kneaded it for 8 minutes, wrapped it up in plastic wrap, let it sit for at least 30 minutes. It's ready for us to try to roll it through the machine. Now, like I said, you can do it in a machine if you have one, but if you do not, you can definitely, Miss Garcia's pointing at me.
I'm bossy.
You can, yeah, that's good. Now I want you to tell me. All right, so you can cut it and do it with a rolling pin, okay? So if you're doing it with a rolling pin, just make sure there's flour on the rolling pin if it starts to stick. It may not. Just see what you need. You definitely don't want to add too much flour to this because it's already kind of dry. Well, yours may not be if you've got the whole wheat flour. I mean the all-purpose flour. Okay, so then we're going to divide it up into 3 sections. What in the world?
This dough is really,
Wow, this dough
what's the
is,
word of it? I don't know what the word is.
not
Not pliable. The opposite of pliable.
The opposite of pliable, unpliable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting these 2 sections to the side, and I'm gonna put it out like this, and I may roll it a little bit.
Yeah, you have to, because it has to fit in the machine.
All right, so you roll it out a little bit. Let me put a teeny bit of flour because I don't want it to get any drier than it already is. So I'm gonna just put just a teeny bit of flour on my rolling pin. And there's a teeny bit of flour too on the surface, just so we don't have anything sticking. All right, now I'm gonna start rolling it out. It's easier for me to roll it like this. This is just how I do it. All right, so if you see what I'm doing is trying to flatten it out. The dough is a little different than the one we made. I wonder if it'll taste different.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Supposedly, this flour is supposed to make it a little silkier.
Silkier, yeah.
So,
last time we used a flour called
semolina?
Semolina?
I think so,
Semolina. And it was funny because he said semolina is harder to work with, like it's tougher. But I would have to say ours so far, this is harder to work with. Okay. What do you think, Miss Garcia? Flat enough?
Yeah, is it too wide? It looks like it's not too wide, right?
Nope, I don't think so. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move my stuff to the side. Miss Garcia's gonna film me. Let me make sure, yeah, you guys at home can see. All right, so, is it too wide?
I don't think
All right.
so.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna drop it in and roll it. And remember, we talked about putting the setting. Let me show you how you do the setting first. If you'll look, let me back up. Sorry, guys. All right, before we start that. If you'll look right here on this little, this little thing pulls out, you see, and it turns, and you can see numbers right there. That says 2, 3, okay? So you have to pull it out, and it'll click and catch. Now they want me to start on 0, so I'm gonna start right here on 0, okay? And that's pretty wide because your dough is pretty wide at this point. And he said to put it in, let me check my little thing, 3 times, so let's try that. All right, now, like I said before, I did this at home with my electric one. All right. 10, and it really is fun, you guys. I wish y'all were here. We'll do it when you get back. All right, that's 1 time. It does feel silkier, honestly.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm sticking it in the wrong hole. All right, 2. See what's happening? And then you just make sure it goes in the right hole, and it kind of grabs your dough and it'll pull it right through. All right, 3 times through on 0. So if you look, 0 is not really, it's still not very thin, okay? So if you're doing it with a rolling pin, you're gonna have to get it super thin. So you gotta keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Okay, now, the next setting it says is to set it on 3. So I'm gonna pull this knob out right here, and there's 2, and there's 3. Let's see, is that, there you go. Sorry, y'all, let me get it, there, 3. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing I just did, but it's gonna be a little bit skinnier. And if you'll look, and it does feel kind of silky. It has a silky feel to it. It's kind of cool. All right.
Miss Buller,
Yeah.
once we finish kneading our dough,
Uh-huh.
can we wrap it up?
Yes. So you wrap it up in some plastic wrap and let it sit for about 30 minutes. So if you can watch me, and then I'm going to post this video on my YouTube page and put it on Google Classroom or eClass, both probably.
That was
Can we
one.
let it sit longer than 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it like tomorrow, like some of my dough I'm gonna wrap up and use tomorrow, so I'll probably you can put it in the fridge for a day. But you kind of have to get it out and get it warmed up before you start messing with it. Like you might want to get it out and let it sit for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. All right, that was 1 time through on 3. All right, now here we go. All right. 2 times through.
And if it gets too long to handle, you can cut it
Yeah.
in half.
That's what he did. All right, so mine's getting a little too long for me, so I'm gonna cut it in half with this thing you do. Gosh, it really does feel totally different than that.
Oh,
other
good. I'm
flour.
curious to see how it tastes.
Let's see if it's better.
All right, this is the third time
3rd time through
on 3.
on 3. It's getting wider and wider. I have
Then
to put this one in on 3. All right. Ooh, it feels so soft. And as you see, it's getting a little bit softer and a little bit thinner. Well, you probably can't see how
it's
soft.
hard to see it on this video, but
Okay. All right, next. 3rd setting is on 6. So I'm pulling it out. I'm setting it up on 6. Let me see. Yeah. There. That's 6. Okay. Now 6 is going to be super thin. All right. So notice we haven't started cutting it into noodle-os or anything yet. That's what we used to call them, noodle-os. All right. So I have to go through this 2 times.
2 times. Crank fell.
Crank fell. So if you have one of these, the crank just goes in here and it's easy to take it in and out. Okay, here we go. 2 times on setting 6. Here we go. It is so thin, it's not grabbing it. Hang on. All
Maybe yeah, turn it on the other side, maybe.
right, let's see if it'll grab it going this way.
Not getting it?
All right, here's what we'll do. I'll cut it this way. Just got to somehow make it work so it'll go through. Let's see if this will go through now. It's just a super tight setting. There it goes. I got it.
Sorry, my video was probably off a little.
Ooh, it feels so soft. I think last time we made it, we didn't make the noodles thin enough.
No, we didn't. They were pretty
Look
thick.
at how skinny these are going to be.
So that's going to be
So
the second.
1. Now it should go through fine since it's thin. 2. So did y'all see what I did to, even though I couldn't, so when you're rolling it, you kind of want it to be so thin that you can kind of see.
And long for the noodles.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one of them. Now I'm going to go through with this one. Let's see if it'll grab it. Oh, it did. It grabbed it. So 1. We did notice with the electric one, it would sometimes get jammed up. There's no way to really mess it up. So you're fine. Even if it gets a little jammed up and you have to redo it, that's fine. All right. And so these are ready to go.
Right.
So can y'all see how skinny that is?
You want me to stop the video there?
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we have made 5 little sections of noodles, and they're pretty soft and silky smooth, okay? So let's say you've rolled these out with your rolling pin. So now I'm gonna show you how to make, let's do fettuccine noodles. So all you do is you're gonna roll it like this, like that, if you don't have one of these machines. So you literally can make this at home. And you are just gonna cut it into little pieces like this. And you cut them as fat or as thin as you want them to be. All right, so then once you unroll them, you will see that they are little noodles. This is not as easy as I
No, you're doing good.
Okay, but it's a lot more work doing it this way.
Yes.
So you see I've made a noodle, and then this is a drying rack that you don't have to have, but you're gonna unroll each one of them and put them on the drying rack, okay?
Okay.
So we'll finish those up in a minute.
So now,
So now that's how you do it at home. Okay, if you have the attachment, you make sure, okay, I want the real skinny one, and there's a place on the edge here where it lets you slide it on. And it does, mine doesn't slide on easily, so we're gonna,
That's a little better.
is that better? Okay, all right. Then I have to take the crank out, because I'm not using this part, I'm now using this part, so you put the crank in here. And there it goes. All right, so watch this.
Let me come around here.
Can you guys see this at home pretty well? Maybe move me closer.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm sticking it in the part where it makes them really thin. Okay, so I'm gonna roll it.
Oh. Like,
This is so fun, y'all. I wish I were here.
and then you can hang it.
All right, can y'all see what I
I'm gonna
did?
show them first.
Boom, baby.
Spaghetti noodles.
Spaghetti noodles. So you can put them up here on the drying rack if you have one. Just like a professional.
Or you can just lay them on a pan, cookie sheet.
Yeah, you can put them on a cookie sheet. So let's do another row. If I can get it in there. Let me get it in this side first. Look, and you go ahead and shove it in there if you can't get it to go in. All right, there we go.
There
It's
you go.
grabbing it. All right.
That is really cool.
I wish I could that. Should we turn this?
I'll slide that over
Okay.
in a second.
Oh yeah, they could move the.
I'll move your camera over in a sec.
All right, so let's say you made it like this. I kind of made a little bit of a mess.
That's all right.
So all you do is you're just gonna wrap them gently like this into a circle. And you can let them sit like this and put them in a Ziploc bag. And then you've got spaghetti noodles for you to make tomorrow. So tomorrow,
Stop.
I will show you how to make sauce and spaghetti noodles, okay?